A current NBA player could be making his way to the WWE, and honestly, I have tons of mixed emotions. My name is Ango. This is Destination Pro Wrestling. If you guys want to support me and the channel, all the links are in the description. Social media, channel memberships, all of that good stuff. Make sure you guys check out the links below. But with that being said, today we are talking about a current NBA player who is on his way to WWE once his career is over. We're talking about Enes Kanter, the current center of the Boston Celtics, formerly played for the Knicks, Oklahoma City Thunder, Portland Trail Blazers. And honestly, I actually am a fan of Kanter in the NBA. I think he's a good player. He's not an all-star, but he is somebody who's a great asset, could rebound, play some defense. And honestly, the one thing that a lot of people talk very highly about Enes Kanter is the fact that he is such a positive person. He's a very good teammate, a very good team leader. And I think in the world of pro wrestling, you kind of need somebody like that on your roster. So you might be wondering, while I'm praising Enes Kanter, why do I have mixed emotions? Guys, I know it's going to sound chaotic, it's going to sound crazy, but let's talk about it. So here's the thing with Enes Kanter. Tall player. I think he's just under 7 feet tall. He has a good body image. You know, obviously typical look that WWE goes for. He's tall. I think WWE can do something very special with Enes Kanter in terms of a gimmick and giving him a character and whatever it may be. But the problem that I really have here is two things. One, WWE has the tendency to go outside of the WWE bubble to sign people only for them to do absolutely nothing with. Remember Cain Velasquez? We're going to talk about this a little bit more in just a minute. But what about WWE releasing over 50 plus superstars during a global pandemic? And I think that right there is the real thing that resonates with me in a negative way. Unfortunately, when you look at WWE releasing so many superstars from the roster, and don't get me wrong, I don't think every single person on that list could have been a star. But what I could see is a lot of potential. But it just shows you that WWE was not willing to do anything with any of them. And that's why they really just made the decision to get rid of them. Obviously, it saved them money, but the idea of saving money was not as important because WWE continues to be incredibly profitable throughout the years. So this is the issue. WWE releases people during a pandemic, and then just a few weeks later, there's rumors and reports of WWE offering a contract to an NBA player. It just sounds a little shitty. Now, let's just be very clear. Enes Kanter does have a background with WWE. I believe just last year he was the 24/7 champion. He won it at Madison Square Garden in a dark segment. And honestly, it was actually a really popular move. A lot of people were happy. Enes Kanter was a big fan. A lot of people don't know this, but Enes Kanter also dated Dana Brooke. So there was obviously a large connection with Enes Kanter and WWE. So WWE having interest and being familiar with him, it makes a lot of sense. But when you look at WWE and how they push superstars, they really don't remain consistent on some of the people they've worked with in the past. And this is why people have an issue when WWE signs somebody like Cain Velasquez, because as you guys saw, Cain Velasquez is pretty much solely the biggest reason why Kofi Kingston is not WWE champion. And honestly, that's a real major problem when you consider since then, there really hasn't been anything special about that championship. And yes, Drew McIntyre has won the belt, but I'm fearful for Drew McIntyre's title reign because there is nobody ready to take that spot to compete against him to make it a meaningful feud. And yes, I love Jinder Mahal, but Jinder Mahal is coming back from injury, so it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, WWE goes outside the bubble. They don't sign somebody from ROH or Impact. They sign somebody from television, entertainment, acting, whatever it may be, and they bring them into the WWE, and then there's nothing that comes out of it. We all saw this with Gronkowski. WWE signed Rob Gronkowski, and I think the biggest issue that we've seen with that is now Rob Gronkowski is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and in a really weird situation. Now, if you guys don't remember, and I'm a Detroit Lions fan because I'm from Michigan, Gronk was actually traded to the Lions, but he retired with the Patriots, and now he comes out of retirement to join Tom Brady in the Buccaneers. So he doesn't come to Detroit. He stays retired, signs with the WWE, wins the 24/7 championship belt, and then just days later gets moved over to Tampa Bay, and he announces he's going to play again. So the idea is WWE made this huge commitment to signing a very big, popular name in the world of NFL, but they have no chance to do anything with him because there's no way he could simultaneously play in the NFL and wrestle. He is still the 24/7 champ. I like Gronk. I think he's done a really good job doing a lot of interviews and stuff, and he takes a lot of pride in being the 24/7 champ. But at the end of the day, when you're an NFL player and you can't play and wrestle at the same time, it pretty much makes that signing meaningless. And that is my fear with WWE, that they're literally just signing people that are unnecessary. And it goes back to the whole issue of talent hoarding. I hate the idea of talent hoarding. And I hate the idea that WWE, Impact, and AEW and all these companies need to bring in big names or people from, outside of the wrestling bubble. Like, I like the idea of bringing in celebrities, okay? But I hate the idea of bringing in celebrities only to devalue your own product or your own stars. And I think that is something that we've seen very common in WWE, and we've seen it in Impact Wrestling as well. But WWE, it's very common to see that happen. WWE will literally ruin the push of some people on their roster just to put over a celebrity or a celebrity appearance, and it's really just unsettling. And that's really the issue here. Enes Kanter does have a great look. I think he could get acclimated. I think he could learn how to wrestle. I mean, this is somebody, when I look at him, I could see him doing a choke slam or a sky high, and I could see him pulling off some decent moves for a big man. He's athletic, so that's the really good thing here. He is athletic. He is used to putting in work in the gym. I don't think there's going to be an issue with that. But what I do see an issue with is WWE has to look at their roster and look at what they're going to do next with their roster before going to guys like Enes Kanter. Because we also have to be honest, Enes Kanter, as good as he is in the NBA, he is not an all-star. He is not a huge name in the NBA. So it's not like he's bringing a lot of mainstream attention to the WWE. He might bring in a little. I'm not saying he's not going to bring anything. He might bring in a little bit, but it's not enough to move the needle. Look at WWE. Just this past week on Monday Night Raw, WWE has announced the end to the brand split. If you guys didn't know, WWE has announced a open brand, cross-brand invitational type of thing. And Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin has been confirmed for next week Raw. And this was a decision mostly made by television networks. Fox and USA not happy with the ratings, so you got to, share the roster. Enes Kanter is not going to bring you ratings. Cain Velasquez is not going to bring you ratings. Rob Gronkowski might bring you ratings, but now there's no chance of that. So it's just all too confusing for me. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And quite honestly, I just wish WWE would stop. I wish they would stop. I wish they would look at their roster and really look at some of the guys they haven't utilized in years and start utilizing them. In fact, most of the guys they didn't use in years were just released. When you look at NXT as a brand, it is very well a third brand. And the idea that developmental and NXT, it kind of lost its association. Now, WWE, of course, is developing talent through its Performance Center. But with AEW and NXT going head-to-head on Wednesday nights, you're not going to see a lot of people from the Performance Center get their shine on NXT television until they're ready. So if WWE is smart, I think at this point, you're going to have to bring in Enes Kanter to the main roster. It makes more sense to put him on SmackDown. It's the A show, Fox Sports, that type of thing. But also, it's really important to know that Enes Kanter will not be coming to WWE until his career with the NBA is over. We don't know how many years he has left, but he did confirm that he received a contract from WWE, and he does have plans to join the WWE roster at some point. I really, really hope before WWE tries to push him down our face and down our throats, I hope WWE looks at working with him to get him acclimated as fast as possible. It's a lot different from being a wrestler to an NBA player. And yes, being athletic like the way he is and running drills in the NBA, I'm not discrediting that. But pro wrestling, taking a bump, things like that, it's not easy. And I'm telling you this because I don't even want to do it. I wouldn't want to put my body through that. So ultimately, I am excited to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but the idea of this is just very, very iffy for me. On one hand, I like Enes Kanter, but on the other, I just don't know if this is a decision that makes sense. And one thing that we haven't talked about either, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the idea of financials. Is WWE going to pay him or overpay him to an extent where, it just doesn't make sense? I think that's going to be the real question or concern. WWE has been tossing out some major contracts the last 2 years due to AEW being in existence. Is WWE going to put themselves in a situation where they're going to overpay for somebody and then once again not do anything with him? I just really want WWE to avoid a Cain Velasquez issue, and I genuinely don't know. I really genuinely don't know if that's going to happen here. So I'm excited about the options of him coming to, coming to WWE. I think he can make it work. I just don't know if WWE can make it work. And that's the issue. Guys, my name is Ango from Destination Pro Wrestling. Don't forget, click that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And of course, if you guys want merch or if you guys want to become a member of DPW, all the information is in the description down below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Take care and see you soon.